Wow, Manchester City just became the best club in the world. These guys have reached a whole different level. To be fair, we all know how good Manchester City is, but still, it just feels like 2023 has been their year, no doubt. So just how have these Dons achieved the level of true immortality? Why are they so formidable, inevitable, elite, show-stopping, jaw-dropping, immaculate, and literally every other synonym in the dictionary? Well, if you want to know, then you've come to the right place, no doubt. Today, we'll take a journey to the sensational and history-making season from Pep Guardiola's men. Starting with Pep himself. See, Pep Guardiola isn't your average manager. This guy goes far and beyond for his teams. He's crazy, bold, smart, and knows how to win. Don't believe me? Take a look at these stats. In the Premier League, Guardiola managed 266 matches, winning 197 with 34 draws and just 35 losses since he joined Manchester City in 2016. And now this season, Pep reached new heights with City, taking them to a first ever UEFA Champions League title. Not to mention the fact that he completed it in a treble. Wow! This made Pep the first manager to win a treble not once but twice. Sheesh, he's quite the manager, man. But hey, it wasn't easy to be fair. At the start of the season and after signing Erling Haaland, things went well for City. You know, same old, business as usual. They were hammering teams, Erling Haaland was doing his thing, De Bruyne was doing his thing, and Pep too was on the sideline shouting and playing charades as he normally does. Classic Pep. He was enjoying life once again and started off with total domination in the Premier League. I mean, it is expected considering how this guy trains his players. Did you know that Pep Guardiola takes training sessions seriously? And you're probably thinking, what a dumb thing to say! Of course he takes training sessions seriously. Which coach doesn't? Well, no man, you don't understand. This guy takes it to a whole new level. I swear to God, man. This is what my bro Johnny Stones had to say about the first time he trained under Guardiola.
How his mind thinks about football and how he expresses that over to us as players to get us to do what he wants and what he thinks and what he believes is incredible.
You see, Guardiola looks for specific players in his teams. You know, the kind that win trebles and like 5 Premier League titles in 7 years. He looks for players that are technically gifted and players that have good control of the ball in all areas of the pitch. With the likes of Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Joao Cancelo, and Riyad Mahrez are all players with exceptional control. Bernardo Silva's low center of gravity allows him to dribble freely around opponents and in tight spaces. When it comes to players like Joao Cancelo and Riyad Mahrez, they have the necessary flair to beat their opponents in 1v1 situations and create spaces for other teammates to exploit. Not to mention, my guy Mahrez's first touch is simply mwah. In fact, I don't think anyone has a first touch as good as Riyad's. I mean, I would. You know, if I had trained as hard and if it weren't for that one incident in the cafeteria that ruptured my rectum and forced me to retire. But hey, this isn't about me. It's about Pep's players, specifically his midfielders. When it comes to his midfield players, Guardiola provides a lot of passing drills. His midfield players need to have spatial awareness at all times. They must have the ability to build an image of the pitch. That means constantly shifting, scanning, and creating spaces for long, short, or even quick and precise passes when building from the back. So it's no surprise Rodri, Gundogan, and De Bruyne have all become forces of nature in the middle. But perhaps a tactic Guardiola used this season that saw his team finally win the UCL came at the expense of Joao Cancelo. See, Cancelo has always been the central figure in Pep's tactics. Last year, he was arguably one of the best fullbacks in modern-day football. But that all came to an end when City met Liverpool on the 16th of October 2022. Wait, hey, that's my birthday! But anyways, after City lost 1-0 courtesy of Mo Salah's goal, no one felt more embarrassed than Joao Cancelo. After Salah twisted him inside out and scored the winning goal, Cancelo was never the same. In the next few games, he was doing things that your average Sunday League player would do. Or to put it simply, bro was playing like pure ass. He lost confidence, started looking lost in the pitch, and not to mention, he fell out of favor as a regular starter for Pep. And things got worse when Nathan Ake was chosen to start in an FA Cup tie against Arsenal. You see, Joao expected to start the game since it was pretty much a light work fixture for City. But with Nathan Ake starting instead, it was safe to say that he didn't take it too well, as it was reported that Cancelo was unhappy with the selection. And so in the next team talk, that's when he did something outrageous. Instead of listening to his manager speaking and discussing tactical plans, Joao decided that a better use of his time would be to listen to music instead. And this angered Pep Guardiola. Streets were saying that they have never seen him angrier since the day Messi took a soda, directly after Pep had told him not to. But hey, that was Messi. And we've all seen how much of a meat writer Guardiola is when it comes to Messi. But this time, since it was basically a player who has been doing nothing but creating a toxic environment for the team, as well as putting up Harry Maguire's standard performances, Pep decided that he wasn't going to take such disrespect. And so, that's when Cancelo was shipped to Bayern Munich. He who laughs last, laughs the loudest, and that is something my Down syndrome ex-girlfriend used to say to me, which in turn is what happened in this situation. Because while Cancelo won a plate, Guardiola completed the treble. And to be fair, Pep has him to thank. Because if Pep hadn't shipped him out of the team, then he wouldn't have stumbled upon this genius tactic. This tactic is so genius that other managers like Jurgen Klopp couldn't help but incorporate it into their teams as well. See, it wasn't smooth sailing for City after Cancelo's exit. There was a drop-off to their standards. They saw themselves losing to Southampton in the League Cup, unprecedented draws to teams like Everton and Nottingham Forest, and not to mention their annual loss to Tottenham Hotspur too. I mean, they were unrecognizable, bro. Even talks of Haaland being a mistake were surfacing frequently. On top of that, City was charged with more than 115 charges in the Premier League. In the midst of all this craziness, I'm pretty sure we're all asking ourselves the same question. Just how did a team prevail and become the champions of Europe? Well, that's when Pep decided to tinker with the team once more. And just like always, the fans weren't too happy when they saw Bernardo Silva playing as a left back. And once that didn't work out, Pep stumbled upon a brilliant idea. The universe should have prayed for this man's bald head to lose its powers. Because after Pep decided to use John Stones in a new hybrid role, from that point on, it was nothing but cash money for Man City. They went on to have an 11-game winning streak, they were beating teams left, right, and center, and they were dunking on teams like Leipzig 7-0, flawlessly beating Liverpool 4-1, and blowing out Real Madrid's 5-1 in aggregate in the semi-final of the Champions League. Once teams all around Europe took notice, they knew Manchester City is on a whole different level. Sheesh, it's no wonder Arsenal bottled the league to City after more than 200 days at the top. I mean, once Erling Haaland started hitting new heights, scoring more goals than ever, and even breaking the record for most goals in a Premier League campaign, it was all but inevitable for Manchester City to claim their third title in a row, in the 5th in 7 seasons. Not only that, but Pep's new use of John Stones was a key influence in their success. See, Pep's style of play has always been simple: possession, positional play, and creating boxes in the midfield. Or to a child, it simply means that if we always have the ball, then you can't score. Okay? Everybody got it now? Got it? Perfect. So what that means is, Pep has a fetish for shapes. He constantly organizes his teams in a triangle, which makes it easier to outpass opponents around the pitch. And this time, the midfield was able to organize itself in a square because of John Stones' new role. During the season, Pep transformed Stones to a whole new level. The type of level that saw him complete 6 out of 6 dribbles in the final. The first player since Lionel Messi. Damn. Wow, the Barnsley Beckenbauer. The thing is, Stones' new role is now an inverted defender. This was a role Cancelo executed well for Pep, and that's why we've seen other fullbacks like Trent Alexander-Arnold occupying midfield areas more recently. But unlike Stones, Cancelo was more technically gifted and played a huge role in creating chances for the attack. But he was still lacking defensively and was cut out on numerous 1v1 situations. But this time, things were different for Manchester City. With Pep converting Stones to a defensive midfielder, he was able to pair up with Rodri, creating more numbers in an attack. And when they didn't have the ball, my man Stones could easily slot back into a defensive line that had Ruben Diaz, Akanji, and Ake, all beasts and aggressive defenders. So, in short, he was a midfielder going forward, and the defender went out of possession. Once Pep had this set up, it was already game over, cause players like Gundogan were also hitting their annual peak form. See, many players don't know this, but with Manchester City, it's like they have this unsung phenomenon that always happens towards the end of the season. They simply don't lose games. It's as simple as that. Players like Ilkay Gundogan get this look in their eyes, and they just start to come alive. It's the same look I always get whenever my girlfriend tells me I suck at FIFA. But with Gundogan, it's much greater, more intense, and more realistic, cause yeah, I don't have a girlfriend. But still, don't take anything away from my boy Gundo, because this guy turns into a prime Zinedine Zidane. Not to mention players like Rodri, Ake, Akanji, and Grealish have all reached new levels too. They all became too hot to handle. I mean, take Gundogan for example. Bro scored 2 volleys with 2 different feet in an FA Cup final, and one of them came just after 13 seconds, which is the same time I always last. I mean, the same time I last when I do my homework. Get your head out of the gutter, man. What did you think I meant, bro? And with a dominant performance like this one, City beat United 2-1 and checked off the FA Cup trophy. June 10th would mark a historic day for the club. Finally, Finally, they reached the promised land and completed the treble. After beating Inter Milan 1-0 courtesy of Rodri's goal in the 69th minute, ladies and gentlemen, Manchester City Football Club 2023. Will we ever see a team better than this one next season? And more importantly, where will the key players of this historic season be? Streets are saying Silva, Mahrez, and even Walker are leaving. Comment down below what you think, and where you think this team ranks in the list of treble winning sides. As always, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more videos, like this one, banned celebrations in football. I know you want to see the celebration that got CR7 fined for a whopping $750,000. So, click it.